Welcome back to the Music Bar Podcast, and this is episode 54, and it's been a while, I know. What's going on here in my life? Been overseas, been looking after the child while my wife has been overseas, and it's all settled down now. I'm back from Los Angeles, and today, if you've watched the podcast in the past, you know I went to LA to watch Metallica and do the whole Pantera Mammoth thing, which was the first night I went over there to see. And I'll be talking about my experience now on those concerts. So let's start off with this. The first day we arrived, which was a full day, was a Thursday, and we went and saw a little known band called Extreme, and the opening act was Living Colour. And we bought tickets for that 2 weeks prior to going over. They are touring here in Australia right now. They've already played Perth. I think they've played Adelaide already, but Extreme are playing September 13th here in Brisbane. We went and saw them over there because we were there, had a free night, why not? And the tickets were $35. Where over here, they're not that cheap. So I went and saw them. They are touring on their new album called Six. It's a phenomenal album. My favourite in the past has always been Three Sides to Every Story. That's when I saw them last. I saw them play back then and touring on that in the early 90s. But I have seen them here recently, and they toured then with Living Colour as well. And that was a great show. So to see them in House of Blues in Anaheim was just, wow, amazing. So Living Colour, Vernon Reid's guitar playing is second to none, as always has been. And Corey's singing, his voice is just amazing, like it was back in the 90s. They don't play my favourite songs, but they still put a really good set list together, and you'll enjoy their set. So probably be the same they do here in Brisbane or Sydney or Melbourne. Go see them if you can. You will not be disappointed by watching Living Colour open up for Extreme. Extreme now are amazing. Their new album 6 is just great, and they got some great songs on there which they played live. The harmonies between the three of them, Pat Badger, Gary Sharon, and Nuno Betancourt, is just great and so beautiful to listen to. I can't say enough about Extreme. They are, to me, like my new Van Halen. I've always loved Van Halen, as you know, but these guys now, because there's no Van Halen, these guys here are just great. Nuno's guitar playing has always been great. He's always been underrated. He's now just released that new album with a song called Rise. The solo on Rise went viral. Every podcast about music was talking about it, and there's some really beautiful songs on that album as well. So yeah, had a great first night there in LA watching Extreme and Living Colour, and I recommend them, just 100%. Go watch them if you can. The next night was the first night of 2 of Metallica. Now, I went over there not really because of Metallica. I've seen Metallica and met the band a bunch of times, but I really wanted to see the opening acts on the very first night, which was Mammoth, WVH, Wolfgang Van Halen, that's his band, and Pantera. The Metallica thing just put them all together. So, if you're not sure about it, if you don't know about it, they released this world tour last year, and they have got no Australian dates at all for 23 and 24. So they might come out over 25, I don't know. In this day and age, you just have no idea what's going to happen. Another pandemic maybe, or what, I have no idea. I believe they will come over. They did cancel their last show here in Australia because of James went to rehab. But you just never know this day and age. And because of that reason alone, I wanted to go over there and see them because of Mammoth and because of Pantera. So, in a nutshell, Mammoth they've got 2 albums out so far, Mammoth 1 and 2. Wolfgang Van Halen is a great musician. He writes everything himself, records it all himself, plays every instrument on the album, and then gets this really cool band together to do live performances. And I really want to see that, because I don't know if they will ever tour Australia. I know he would like to. He mentioned in an interview recently. But the cost of coming over to Australia is pretty big, I believe, from what I've heard. It's a 14-hour flight, and I just don't know if he'll ever do it. And that's the same with Pantera. Pantera are put together by people in other bands. So Zach Wilde's in his own band. You got Charlie from Anthrax playing drums. Phil, I don't even know how many bands that guy sings in, and I'm pretty sure that Rex has his own band as well. So they've put together something for 2 years, I believe, touring around and headlining, but also playing for Metallica. And I wanted to go see that while it existed. I don't know how long it will last. I don't know if Pantera will come here. So I really didn't want to miss it. I've loved Pantera since day one. And I've seen them live before with Far Beyond Driven. I met them all back then, got the Far Beyond Driven CD signed by all 4 members. And then obviously what happened, and I haven't seen them since, and you won't hear their music very often. So to know I can go watch them again in this form is better than nothing. And I've always said too, when it comes to Pantera, I'm a huge Phil fan. His voice to me is amazing. He's one of the greatest singers, I believe, ever. He can sing so many different styles. So if you had the Brothers Steele and Rex playing in Pantera, if they were still alive trying to do this as well, but with a different singer, it just would not work. You have to have Phil. Otherwise, it's not going to sound like Pantera. You can always find a guitar player, or a drummer in this case, to sound as close as possible, and most people won't even notice a difference if they're listening to it. But you'll notice a difference if you didn't have Phil singing. So the fact he's still running around like a crazy guy, alive and kicking, and got to do this, I just had to go see them. I'm so happy I did. It was so good. I got chills when I first heard their first songs come when they first started playing again, and it was just fantastic. So, a bit about the stadium before I go on to Metallica. They played at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. This stadium is made for the LA Rams football team. And it's a beautiful stadium, don't get me wrong. It's amazing. And it holds about 80,000 people. So this stadium, when we arrived, we were on level 3, that's where the merchandise is, the food, the bathrooms, etc., drinks. And we were standing there watching Mammoth from there and Pantera from there. We weren't sitting down, we were just standing up and watching while we were eating and drinking, etc., etc. And we were pretty far away from where we were standing watching them, so we could just make out the guys from both bands. But luckily enough, we had those screens from Metallica to show them a bit bigger, so it was like, oh yeah, they are cool. And that was really amazing. The sound was pretty good. The stadium was not full at that time yet. Probably 30,000 people in there watching Mammoth, maybe 40 or 50 by the time Pantera played, but it was chockers. It was so full when Metallica went on. So, yeah, obviously build up. But level 3, I noticed when I was standing there watching the bands, is open to the back of the stadium to outside. So open air. And there's a roof going over top of it, but you got this open air section, which I think caused issues for Metallica. I went and sat down for Metallica in level 5, which is very top, very, very, very far up. It's a huge stadium. And I paid pretty good money for the ticket still anyway, but I could have spent more if I knew, but I've already spent money on accommodation, car hire, flights, so I just wanted to be there. And when I was sitting watching Metallica, they were tiny. Watching them live, I could hardly see them. So normally when you watch these kind of concerts, you have these big screens to go, okay, there they are, and you watch the big screen. This case, I have to say I don't like their stage show. They have a massive big round donut for a stage. It takes so long to walk around, it's not funny. But on that stage, around that stage they have 6 big pillars with round cylinders, which is their screens. And there's 6 of them. So from where I was sitting, these screens looked pretty small in the first place, but my problem was I found that I'm watching, I play guitar, so I'm watching either James all the time and I'm watching Kirk play. And for instance, here's Kirk playing a solo, and the footage is going around the circle, the cylinder. So you don't get to see it very often. So if you're doing that, and all six are doing the same thing, you don't really get to see much of your guitar playing. Plus, with the open air and us being so high, the sound dissipated. It really was a matter of, I could hear Kirk play do some solos, but could not hear the rhythm below it. And vice versa. I could hear James's rhythm, but could not hear any soloing over it. And I put that down to the fact that open air halfway up the stadium. The funny thing is, the next day when I woke up, I went onto Instagram, and the legendary Phil X had commented on the show as well, because he was there. And he posted a photo from near the VIP section, I guess, or the bottom of the stage, somewhere where he was closer to the stage than what we were, but on ground level. And he basically said the same thing. The sound was horrible. And Phil X, if you don't know him, plays for Bon Jovi since Richie Sambora left. He's a phenomenal guitar player. He obviously plays stadiums as well because he's in Bon Jovi. And he knows a lot more about that stuff than I do. And I'm sitting at the top, not hearing correctly, and he's now sitting at the bottom and not hearing it very well. So that really surprised me. So if the open air effect had an effect on the whole place, then man alive, I think Metallica will be very disappointed to hear that. Great for football, probably not great for concerts. So yeah, I was blown away by the fact I couldn't hear very well, and I couldn't see very well. And you know, if you're down the front, you probably have the greatest time in your life. But if you're up the top, you probably enjoy it because you have to, because you know it's okay. This is Metallica, how good. But coming from a Metallica fan who have seen them live and understand a bit more about that than just a song or two, I just felt it was really badly mixed. And because of that reason, we found out the Saturday that Mammoth were playing their own headlining show on the Sunday night, which was the second Metallica night. So myself and my mate forfeited our Metallica ticket and went and saw Mammoth play in a place that held 1,000 people. And for $25 American to see Mammoth play properly in their own headlining show, they were good the first night we saw them, but to see them in their own show do a longer set list was just amazing. Mammoth music, number 1 and 2 album, are so good. Go buy them, go listen to them. That guy is remarkable. Wolfgang is a remarkable musician. He's great on stage. He's funny. He's very witty with the crowd. He makes you feel like you're at home with him. He even mentioned when the first song finished, he came out and talked to the crowd, and he basically said, "What are you guys doing here? Metallica are playing up the road." Little did he know that myself and my mate forfeited our tickets to come see him. So that was something. And he also said during the show, like he pinpointed a guy in the crowd with a blue hat and kept going back at the blue hat guy. And it was all fun and games. It was all good. But he was just so comfortable up there, which was really, really good to see. And so getting to see them play, and he said this is his biggest headlining show ever, and we were there for it, and it's only 1,000 people, blows my mind. It really does, because yes, he played bigger shows because of Metallica, but that's not his headlining show. So I got to see his biggest show ever, and he was so grateful to the crowd. He kept saying thank you. He kept saying, just such nice words to everybody. And he was really appreciative of the whole gesture. So yeah, it was really good to see. His song's amazing. Go buy the albums, Mammoth 1 and Mammoth 2. It's great to see a new rock star coming out with great songs. Good rock songs, and he can play, I'll tell you that now. The live band he put together is really, really good. They sound amazing. And I had the best time ever at that show. I did that because I didn't want to go and see Metallica from afar. I didn't want to hear Metallica missing main parts of solos. And I didn't want to take 2.5 hours to get home. So yeah, it was an amazing night. Glad I did it. and I'll never regret it. And I do hope Metallica, if they do tour here, and if you are watching Metallica, my podcast, please like and subscribe. But please, if you come to Australia, don't bring that stage. Go back to the original one stage at the end of the stadium with a big screen so people at the back can actually watch it and walk away going, yep, money, value for money, you know. Very disappointed, I guess you could say, but it is what it is, and I had a great time, and I had a great time after that too for a whole week. So, great holiday overall. But Mammoth was my favourite concert out of the lot, and then Extreme, Pantera, Living Colour, then Metallica, in that order, I guess. Ooh, no. Don't kill me, people. So, yeah, anyway. That's it for me. Please like and subscribe. I'll be back again doing more podcasts consistently from now on. I've had a busy 2 months, so that's all I'm over and done with now. And, yeah, you've got my take on my Los Angeles trip. So, yeah, please comment below if you think what I'm saying is too harsh or you agree or whatever. Just comment below, let me know. But, yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the future episodes. And rock on.